Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a good day today. Uh, totally expected not to get a trade today. I was gone all morning. I didn't get back till right at 2 o'clock. But walked right into a trade on HOG, and then Facebook did exactly what I was looking for it to do. And, turned out I had a great afternoon. Maybe I just don't need to trade the morning anymore at all. Just come in the afternoon and go to work. It seems like it was a lot less stress. But, I guess that's the way it is sometimes. But I wanted to share my trades with you that I did today real quick. So I don't know what tomorrow's going to look like. So I better get these out the way today. Like I said, I was gone all morning, and when I cut my charts on, I had 3 montages with the same stock, HOG, which is, I did work that stock yesterday. It was the only thing I traded, but it was just funny. I didn't realize I had 3 of my 6 montages with HOG on it. But as soon as I cut it on, I immediately saw this continuation pattern that I like. I didn't even have to draw a trend line to show that this thing was trending down. And, by it not pushing up and making this new high, it triggered an entry. So I jumped in. I got it. I think I entered right before I was able to bring the platform up to start streaming. But you guys, I know I got on right after I entered it, but you got to see me manage the trade. The only frustrating thing about this trade was waiting these 15 minutes before it actually made the move. We made a move down, solid move. I was looking for it to run right down here to 46.50ish so I could take profit and then bounce and then work its way through and come down. But it didn't. We just kind of got hung up here for a while. Then finally we made this move down, and it just got stuck. I mean, it made this move down almost immediately and just got hung up. And it seemed like it was an eternity, but it was only a couple of minutes, and ended up making me take half my position off. Still a decent profit, but I wanted it here. So I kind of hung on, and once we got the move down, here I went ahead and took profit here. And I should have had an order out here when I left. I have to go pick my son up every day at 3. And I left this on. I had my stop back at break even, and I left this on. But I didn't have my order sitting here. So I guess either way, I wouldn't have got hit. This wouldn't have hit my order. But when I got back, we were pushing up. And, once, right before we closed, I didn't get the fade that I wanted to see, going into the close here. It just kind of stayed up and went the push, so I took it off, for a little bit more profit. But, 248.51, not bad. I didn't come in and start trading until 2 o'clock, and nailed this continuation on HOG. But that wasn't the big thing. The big thing was Facebook. Now, if I wasn't talking about Facebook prior to me trading it, then you could call it anything. But the guys that were still in the chat room heard my thesis on this even before I went to pick my son up. And I told you I had to get in my swing account because this thing looked like it was starting to make its move too early, and I didn't want to miss out. And the technicals were lining up, so I got in. I only took 300 shares, but this could go bad either way. because of the manipulation in it. So it was a little bit sketchy when I took it, but I was using stop orders here. But you know, I can't use it after the close. But I did have my stops in place here, so I was able to take some profit here and got stopped out back at break even while I was gone. But when I got back, we were setting up again, so I went ahead and got in my 300 shares, waiting for, you know, the earnings announcement. And you know, I said, you know, everybody asked me what was my bias on it. I said it's gonna push up a little bit into the 20 and then slam and sell off. And that's exactly what it did. And you know, it wasn't a guess. You know, I research earnings, I do the fundamental analysis, and this and PayPal were the only two that I really liked. But Facebook was working first. And, you know, so I just kind of ignored PayPal and jumped on this one. So I had, you know, a thesis. If this had popped up over the 200, I would have taken it off. But it didn't. It did just what I thought it was going to do. You know, what the chart told me that it probably would do. And was able to take profit on the way down. Almost nailed the bottom here. This is about 25 to 30 cents off the actual bottom, because the triangle here is covering it up. But almost caught the bottom. You know, and these weren't really predetermined profit targets. I just said through 183, I was going to take some. And then, I mean, through 184, I was going to take some. And then, you know, through 179, I was going to take some. But this thing kept falling. I just held on to it and just clicked it down here. And then we started to come up. This candle was all green when I took this off, because we made this candle open. It was pushing up. It was solid green. We made a higher high here, higher high on the 2 minute, so I took it off. And then this thing ran right up to the 9, slammed back down. And as we were coming back down, you know, I jumped back on it because it was just incredibly weak. And, you know, covered some here and covered the rest here. Now, you guys that were in chat, you know, got to see all of this. If you were hanging around waiting for the class, and even when the class started, you got to see, you know, before I started class, you got to see me take that last piece off before I flipped screen share. So, exciting times today. I know it was a slow, dead day without me there. I'm giving y'all something to laugh at. But, you know, an exciting ending to, you know, a pretty good day. And the hell, if I could do this every day, I would come in at 2 o'clock every day. I promise you that. But, you know, that it's just one of those days where, you know, I was prepared. And everything worked out. So on this 2306.45, not bad at all. Not bad at all. And you know, if you hadn't seen the previous weeks of these trades that I took, you know, I have specific stocks that I do. I don't do this on everything. If this was the only time you saw this, then yeah, you could say this is a fluke. But I've done it over and over and over again. And the skeptical people who thought I was guessing are probably now realizing that I actually do the research. You know, you may think this is a quick 5-minute trade to make all this money, but you got to see how much time I put into it beforehand, how much research I put into it before I came up with this thesis and put it into practice. A year ago, no way in hell I could do this. It wasn't until about 6 months ago that I started easing my way into it. And I wouldn't announce it. I wouldn't tell anybody, because this is not something that you can just learn to do. It took me a long time. Learn to do overnight. It took me a long time to get comfortable enough to even try it live. And, so this was a long time coming. So not, a gamble, not a quick hit overnight. There's a lot of time and effort put into it. And we will be talking about this in the swing trade class tomorrow. Last week we started with the fundamental research, or the fundamental analysis. And I told you this week we're going to look at earnings, because I think last week I had an earnings trade that I took before class. But, I told you I was going to show you exactly how I do my fundamental research for stocks that are getting ready to report earnings. Now, I don't hold through earnings so much. It's going to be right up. I'm going to have to see the right price action, and I got to see the right reaction in crowdsourcing for me to actually take this trade. Everything, it has to be a perfect storm. Without the perfect storm, you won't see me taking it, because it's not worth the risk. All right, so that's going to do it for me today. I didn't add this up yet, but 248.51 and 2306.45 is a profit I booked today. Had to trade it out of 2 accounts. Had this been a $70 stock, then yeah, I would have traded it in the other account, but it wasn't, so I couldn't do it. Had to split it between the two. So you guys have a great night, a great evening, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Let's see if we can end this week strong.